is a 17-time world champion. John Cena is the GOAT. There is no longer a debate. With a 17th world title, John Cena is the greatest of all time.
That was the climax of WrestleMania 41. It's in Vegas, Allegiant Stadium, across 2 nights. It's a stadium we know well through a recent Super Bowl and the NRL. 120,000 people, the first WrestleMania of the Netflix era. In the studio, Eddy Cornes from the Eddy Cornes podcast. It's great to see you, Eddy.
Very excited to be here.
He was in Vegas. Nims Azura is still stateside. Hello to you, Nims.
Hello, Gerard. How you going?
I know what they were selling with John Cena at the end. I'm not buying. How did it play out, Eddy, to your eye?
It's tough because I reckon internally at WWE, they'd be pretty happy with where they're at. But I think, Nims, you can speak to this a little bit as well. The fans just in the building, and I think it just fell a little bit flat for everyone. It's meant to be this massive moment. He's winning 17, breaking the record, becoming the GOAT, and he wins it with a shot to the face with a title. It felt a little bit anticlimactic.
Nims?
Well, I'll have to agree with Eddy there, Gerard, because going into this match, we said it was going to be like Rock versus Hogan back in 2002. The difference was we didn't have a big pop star interfere in that match, so it kind of took the sting out of it.
So I have 2 questions there. I think the first is, who the hell is Travis Scott? And what on earth was he doing interfering in the WrestleMania main event? He's not that guy.
Well, he's for people my age, he is huge, but WWE just gets too obsessed with famous people. We've seen it with Pat McAfee on commentary. He's a big media name. They chose to have him over Corey Graves, even though I believe Corey Graves is a much better color guy. And then with Travis Scott getting involved, it was just that WWE showmanship, which we often see with Mike Tyson, but I just thought it was a little bit too much.
I'm so glad you know who he was, Eddy, because I had no idea either. I saw him walk out and I was like, why are they doing this now? So, look, it definitely got a lot of people talking about it here in the States. And it did leave a bit of a sour one on WrestleMania.
So the heel turn for Cena, has that worked?
It's tough because it's impossible to not cheer for John Cena. I mean, people like me who have admired him since I was 4, how are you going to get me to boo John Cena? It's impossible. So they're turning him into the most boring wrestler you've ever seen. He only throws punches, it's headlocks, it's boring submission moves. You know, no one's going to tap to. And the aim is to try and get, when he does turn back to a good guy, get that to be the most emotional moment ever. And I just think WWE fans are going to have to endure a little bit of pain with this Cena because what WWE are going to try and do is build to that moment. And hopefully the pain will be worth it once we do get back to good guy Cena.
The sell of him as the GOAT, Nims, as I say, I hear what they're selling. I'm not buying. So Hogan, Rock, Stone Cold, he's not in the first 3, let alone being the GOAT.
See, that's an interesting one because I think maybe that's recency bias a little bit. Maybe give it another 10 or 12 years and maybe we will look back at John Cena as like, you know, a great like Ric Flair. For me, he's definitely on my Mount Rushmore, but it's probably too early to tell. And just to go on what Eddy was saying before, the Raw after WrestleMania, so it's been very well publicized that John Cena only has 36 dates left in this last run. He went through each of the dates and we've got about 27 left. So he managed to get people in the palm of his hand, and it's going to be exciting to see what's going to happen just because it's different. We've seen Cena do the same thing for like 20 plus years. So I'm really looking forward to it.
So why they'd spent all this effort building Cody Rhodes up as the face of the company? He had the 1-year run after the climax of WrestleMania 40. And they've just handed over to a retiring star who's been a part-timer. What did they say? He hadn't won a singles match in 7 years.
Yeah.
I can't quite grasp that.
I'm not sure where Cody goes from here, to be honest with you. I think that he is the perfect face of the company. He does all the media work. He goes overseas when they need him to. He's constantly doing the TV shows like Good Morning America, the Today Show. He's promoting the company. How do you keep his momentum going without the title? That's the question for Cody Rhodes now.
Nims, night 2 climax, I think, poor. Night 1 climax, classic comic book wrestling. The manager, Paul Heyman, with the double cross in a triple threat match to hand it all to Seth Rollins. That's what I expect from my WrestleMania. How did you see that?
Well, I saw that. I saw that like everyone else did. There was a massive cheer when Heyman went and sided with Punk, and then you could almost take all the air out of the room once he turned on Roman Reigns. It was just cinema. That's what it was. Absolute cinema.
I agree 100%. It was the highlight of WrestleMania for me, and Seth Rollins continues to be so underrated.
Okay, so tell us about Seth Rollins.
He is the king of turning people into main event talent. So you look back over the last few years, he did it with Logan Paul. He actually did it with The Rock, funnily enough. The Rock hadn't wrestled for a long time. Seth was paired up with him for a lot of that WrestleMania 40 match, and he made The Rock look really, really good despite his age, and now he's going to turn Bron Breakker into an absolute megastar.
Nims, overall, was it a great WrestleMania?
This will go down as one of the more epic ones. Probably not an all-time great like last year, but it was just the Vegas atmosphere, the crowd being into it, the venue. It was just top shelf. It wasn't perfect by any means, but it wasn't a dud.
Best bout, Eddie?
Well, I think the triple threat main event of night one was great, but the women's triple threat to open night two was also absolutely incredible.
So this had Rhea Ripley in it?
Yes, it did. And she is unbelievable. People are getting a little bit tired of her now, so I think it is good that she's not going to hold the belt for the next few months. Just give her a little bit of a refresh, maybe change her character up a little bit, but she's still incredible.
I agree, that was the best bout. And Io Sky, who I knew nothing about, like a Japanese acrobat. Yep. Some of the stuff that went on in the last 5 minutes of that match, that was wild.
Incredible. And Io Sky now has just turned into this absolute megastar. And you couldn't really have predicted this a few weeks ago. Like, she wins the belt out of nowhere on a Raw, and no one really expected her to actually win at WrestleMania. She does, and the crowd absolutely loves her. So she's going to be a big name going forward.
Best bout, Nims?
Got to agree with Eddie there too. It's Rhea Ripley and Io Sky and Bianca Belair. Like you sort of said, Jared, Io Sky was someone that wasn't really known too well, but they've made her into an absolute bona fide superstar. At the Raw after Mania, she was getting so many cheers, and she's made it in this business, and I'm so excited to see what she's going to do, especially considering the fact that like she's relatively obscure compared to all the rest, and she's not like the regular WWE women that you normally see, like your Trish Stratus's, your Tori Wilsons of back in the day. Like it's very refreshing.
Best moment, Nims?
This is going to be a little bit controversial, but I have to say the Randy Orton Open Challenge being answered by Joe Hendry from TNA, to put it in perspective for any sports fans back home, it'd be like the Brisbane Lions not having an opponent for the grand final, and then the Penrith Panthers show up to take them on.
Very good. Good analogy. Eddie, best moment?
Well, I think Io Sky was the best moment, her winning, but the craziest moment was Stone Cold coming out on a four-wheeler, just absolutely zooming it around the ring and then crashing it into the barricade and nearly hurting the crowd. That was a crazy moment.
I thought the Jey Uso entrance right at the start, the Yeet entrance, which must have gone for 8 minutes, that showed a fan base totally in love with its event. It actually reminded me of the reception that Taylor Swift got at the start of her concert. That just the unity in that, it was something to behold. Nims, 5-star rating. Where on the 5-star scale was WrestleMania 41?
I'd have to give it a solid 3.5 out of 5. I was gonna lean towards 4, but it's not quite a 4 and it's not quite a 3. So it wasn't perfect, as I said, but definitely wasn't a dud.
Eddie?
Well, last year's was a 5, and it's impossible to live up to last year, and that was always going to be the challenge. So I agree with Nims. It's a 3.5-star WrestleMania.
Yeah, we've all come to the same rating separately. So there we are. You'll probably do a longer podcast on this, Eddie. So thank you for stopping by. Good on you.
Thank you for having me. I had a lot of fun.
The Eddy Cornes podcast, NBA, AFL, wrestling flavour. Nims, travel back safely. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Jared. And just a quick plug, the driver's seat is back next Wednesday night to preview some supercars.
Harrison has texted through, Jared, that's the worst take ever. John Cena is by far the GOAT of WWE. Rock, Hulk Hogan, Stone Cold are good, but not close. They've actually nailed this. They have set it up perfectly for a Cena versus Randy climax, and then they will have so many options after that as who takes the title. Our annual WrestleMania review. Thank you, and sorry.